Bulldog Nation, you are now going to witness, watch, and listen to the best podcast in the league. Get set for a wild ride with From the Hill Podcast, featuring Wayne Cartwright, Damian Green, Tenarius Gooden, David Thomas, Jennifer Murray, and Corey Williams. Don't miss out. Subscribe now to From the Hill Podcast. It's time to turn up the excitement and make some noise.
Yo, what's happening?
What's going on?
What's going on?
Hey, man, it is a blessed and highly favored moment and blessed and highly favored time, man. Football days in Huntsville are right here, alive and back again. And we have our crew tonight. Good to see you there, DT Green in the house.
Casper.
Yeah.
Glad to be back. Glad to be back.
Hey, glad that everybody is back joining us once again. We had our season opener last week. Was really, really cool. So you know what to do, everybody. You make sure that you hit that like button. Make sure you share this stream with those that are out here. Tell some folks, man. Football days in Huntsville. From the Hill Podcast. It's time to link in. So make sure you hit the like button. Those that have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Across the bottom of the screen tonight, we've got our updated football schedule. We got soccer, got volleyball, got cross country. We got it all working. Also, season tickets. That link is also across the bottom of the screen. So make sure you govern yourselves accordingly. All right. So with all of that being said, let's get right started into our housekeeping. All right. DT Green, since you ain't been here for a little bit, take the wheel, my brother. Fan Day.
Fan Day, 10 a.m. Saturday. Bring the kids. It doesn't matter what else you got on your calendar. Come on out and enjoy the fun. Y'all know the drill. We do this every year. If you are not in Huntsville, I'm challenging the Birmingham folks, the Florence folks, the Chattanooga folks, okay? Make that little short drive up and enjoy the Bulldog family. Fan Day kicks off at 10 a.m. Scrimmage kicks off at 12. Open to the public. Just come on up.
Yeah. And guess how much it costs?
It's free ski.
Free 99.
Yes.
And won't they?
Yes, sir.
Hold on. A lot of A&M people complain about, man, A&M, they like to bust our heads on the ticket prices, on this, on that. Come on. Fan Day is cost nothing but a ride. Let's do it.
And not only will they get the scrimmage at noon, won't they get to see all the sports teams as well?
Yep, they will. In addition to Fan Day, on Sunday, it'll be for the another Fan Day at Walmart. So you go to Walmart kind of like what they did last week. Not last week, but last year. So the Walmart Fan Day on Sparkman will be the following day.
Yeah. So you got cheerleaders and all the sports teams be there in the house. Also, thank you. Alumni donations for 150th anniversary. Definitely make sure you want to do that as well, right? But Saturday, FREE, that spells free. Show up, y'all. All right. Something else we have for you. We'll revisit this also later in the show, but we've got the NIL collective for AAMU athletics. We got some various initiatives that are out there. Excellence is our standard. And in this new day and age of college athletics, NIL is definitely a big necessity. And we need as many, if not everybody, that can contribute to the cause to definitely be involved. Corey, what you got on this, brother? NIL. Okay, he had to. We'll come back to it. But right, NIL, we'll come back to that. But NIL, we definitely gonna come back to this because Corey's got something to say, so we'll address it later in the show.
Right.
All right. So that is our housekeeping for this evening. Everybody, make sure that you hit the like button. Make sure you tell everybody that we on, man, because we're getting ready to roll right into it. Our first guest tonight, this is his second time on the show. He probably doesn't even recognize that he saw me about 50 times at the USATF Masters Outdoor Championship. I was out there sweltering with this man. He was out there every single day. I can verify. He is the athletics director and all things directions for Huntsville City Schools. Really, this man does it all. So I want to bring him back to the show. Please welcome once again, Mr. Mac Howard. Good to see you, my
How y'all
brother.
doing? You know what? Now that you said that, I do remember seeing you out there, but I just didn't put two and two together. So that's my bad.
It's all good.
I was so busy.
Look, man, the heat was getting to my brain, man. I couldn't remember his name. I was like, I know he been on the show.
Right.
Hey, look, it was hot. There was a bunch of people out there, and I was running around. I was busy, that was a great event. We invested a lot of money into Milton Frank Stadium so we could hold events like that. So it was an exciting thing for us. And it was 1,100 athletes, masters athletes from all over the nation. We had a 96-year-old woman that broke the record in the 100 meters. And I mean, it was something else.
What?
Yeah. For her age group. Let me say that.
For
her age group. She broke the record.
I'm about to say, man, that woman better not be out there running fast now. Like, we need to sign
Hey,
her.
there was an 83-year-old woman.
She was
96.
96.
Man.
Yeah, and then there was an 83-year-old woman.
And how many of us getting in out of the car?
Hey, but wait for this though. 83-year-old woman broke the world record in the 80 to 84 age group, ran the 100-meter dash in 17 seconds using the blocks, man.
Wow.
Got down on the ground in the blocks and came out of them.
I think she ended up being the most valuable athlete for the meet because I think she scored the most points individually because she not only did the 100, but she pole vaulted.
Yep.
She ran the road race and she high jumped.
Yep.
This was all in one weekend?
This was all over 4 days.
4 days.
I ain't doing that in a week.
Thursday to Sunday.
Hey, T, I challenge y'all in a race.
Right.
Y'all got time to get in shape, man. That meet is gonna be up here in Ohio next summer. So
that was
get in shape.
Championship. That was a national championship, and Carlos Matthews, who's our board president, A&M alumni, he ran track at A&M. He finished third in the long jump. In the long jump in the nation in his age group, which is 50 to 55.
Yep.
And then he finished
100 also
in the 100. Finished fifth in the 100.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And he and I were in school at the same time at A&M, and I'm telling you, I was impressed, but I'm not running.
Yeah.
Say, Mac, let me tell y'all something real quick. So, y'all know I give everybody the links or whatever. So, we're going to the show. Mr. Howard's not on yet. So I messaged him and said, the link working? He like, let me click on it. He like, yep. I see it at 750. I look. I'm like, damn, I did tell him 750. I said, no, not 750. It's 650. So he jumped right on. I'm glad that you answered the message real quick. And because I know you came on last time. And we know what you do, your history. So can you tell the new audience who is Mac Howard? When were you at A&M? Where you from? What you do with Huntsville City Schools?
Definitely. Again, my name is Mac Howard. I am an A&M alumni. I was a freshman in 91, graduated with my bachelor's degree from A&M, and then I started teaching in Huntsville City School. Well, my first teaching job was at Bob Jones. And I taught there for a couple of years. Then I moved over to the city and I was teaching and coaching football. So I coached football and track at J.O. Johnson High School for till it closed, from 2002 till J.O. Johnson closed in 2016. Then I moved over to May Jemison for a year and was the athletic director at May Jemison. Then I went to Huntsville High for 3 years as assistant athletic director and teacher. And then I moved into administration, and I was at Grissom for 2.5 years as the athletic director, assistant principal. And then this is my I finished my 3rd year at the district level as a district athletic director. I'm originally from Dayton, Ohio, but I have been in Huntsville longer than I was in Dayton. I left Dayton when I was 18 years old, and I've been in Huntsville ever since. And when people ask me when I go out of town, where you from? I say, well, Huntsville. Now, right. I grew up in Dayton. I grew up in Dayton, Ohio. Met my wife at A&M. We have 3 kids. 2 of them have graduated from college. One is getting to start her sophomore year at A&M. My other 2 boys, my 2 boys, the oldest graduated from Tennessee State University and mass communication and journalism. And then our middle child, Mackenzie, he graduated from Lane College. He played football at Lane, and he graduated last year. But now he is going to begin. Well, he started in January. He's a GA at A&M with the new coaching staff. So he's actually coaching with the new football team, with the new staff, with the team. Nice. He's excited about that because he wants to be a college football coach. And I told him if that's the avenue you want to take, you're doing the right thing by GAing. Now they're gonna work the mess out of you. You're gonna work, but you're gonna learn. You're gonna learn, and I believe in that staff and everything that he's told me about the new staff. It's all great things, and I think they got a great staff, and he's learning from them. So I'm excited about that. But I've been the majority of my career has been in Huntsville City Schools. So like I said, I started off at Bob Jones and taught a couple years there, but the majority of my career has been in Huntsville City. So I love Huntsville City Schools. I'm an advocate for the school system and for our athletic programs. So that's me in a nutshell.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my parents are great. Both of them are deceased now, but they went to A&M also.
Nice.
Hey, Mac. What are some things that you plan on doing with Huntsville City Schools as far as any kind of partnerships upcoming with Alabama A&M?
Okay, so every year, we have 5 high schools in the city that play sports. So, and we only own 1 football stadium. So A&M allows us to play games up there. We have I think 3 games on campus this year. We have a good partnership with Dr. Bryant and athletic. He's another Ohioan, Dr. Bryant, the AD at A&M. So we're going to partner with them to play some of our games up there. We also, last year, and we plan on doing it again, Lee High School played May Jemison in the event center in basketball. And that was a great opportunity for us because out of our 5 high schools, Lee has the smallest gym, but they traditionally have been one of the better basketball programs in the city. Coach Brown does a great job, and he's won a few state championships. So to get more people in that gym and, in front of those kids so they can play, and when they have a home game up there, that's their biggest game of the year. So we partner with A&M and play games up there. We also, last year, Dr. Brown was and the president were, gracious enough to allow all our students in A&M football games and sporting events for free, with a student ID. And I'm hoping that we're going to do that again. We're going to meet up pretty soon and talk about that. I've been talking with some of the Dexter Williams, not Williams, Dexter. What's Dexter's last name? I can't remember his name, but he's over for facilities, athletic facilities, about getting in touch with the sports management department and having some of those students partner with us and do some interning with us and helping us run some of our events. We have a large event in the winter, the Huntsville City Classic, where I need all the help I can get. So that, and helping us run some of these games and middle school programs, because I'm directly involved in running the middle school programs, and that would be a great opportunity for them and us to get some help. So we're trying to do a whole bunch of things with A&M, and as much exposure that I can give our kids to Alabama A&M, I'm all possible. I'm all for it. And then with our football teams, I mean, most of these kids that play high school football are never going to play past the high school level. So them having an opportunity to play on a college field is a big deal for them, and A&M is right up the street, and they're gracious enough to let us do it.
That's awesome.
That's great. That's really good stuff.
Now, Mr. Howard, I know just recently, one of your struggling schools, Columbia, they've been struggling for a while now. I know. But you made a big hire. You hired Sammy Coates, former Auburn wide receiver. Also, I think Coach played for Pittsburgh. Was it Pittsburgh?
He was drafted by the Steelers. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
He played a few years for Pittsburgh. He played somewhere else also. Yeah, I think he had about a 5 or 6 year career in the NFL. Mm-hmm.
So tell us how you were able to to get someone you indirectly involved or indirectly involved. Sammy Coates at a school that's not the one that's a winning program. And the second question is, after you answer that, can you talk to us about the football programs at the other high schools that you have in the school system?
Sure. So to be honest with you, when they decided to make a change at Columbia, we posted a job, and surprisingly, we had quite a few applicants, and a lot of young coaches who didn't have any experience coaching. We didn't get a lot of big name coaches, of course, trying to applying for that position, because just to piggyback on what he said about Columbia has a 91 game losing streak. It's the longest active losing streak in the nation for high school football. They haven't won a game since 2015. And in the last few years, they haven't really competed except for 1 or 2 times in any game that they played. So Sammy actually reached out to us. He contacted us. He was coaching college football in Virginia, and he said that, in his initial interview, which I was involved in his initial interview, was that he felt it was his calling to coach high school football, and not only to coach high school football, but to coach it in his home state of Alabama. And he saw this opportunity as a chance to come in and change the narrative at a place, and to inspire young men like he was inspired when he played in a small town, which he's from a really small town, but Columbia is in Huntsville, but Columbia is is considered a smaller school, even though it's 6A. But when you look at their football program compared to other 6A programs in the state, I think they ended the season last year with 21 players. So that it's almost impossible to compete with 21 players. Yeah, I mean, it is impossible to compete, but he was excited about it. He has come in with that old saying, like his hair's on fire. He's been getting to the middle schools, talking to the middle school kids that feed into Columbia, convincing them and trying to inspire them to stay in that feeder pattern, because that's been the problem. The problem is, Williams Middle School feeds into Columbia. Williams Middle School is one of our bigger middle schools, but they look up at Columbia and say, I'm not going there. I'm not going to play there. And their parents are moving and all kinds of stuff. But he's kind of inspired some of the kids. They got a large freshman class. I think the last time I talked to him, he's had, 40 kids out at practice every day. Over the summer, they had a consistent number of 35 to 40 working out, getting ready for the season. So I'm hoping, and we're hoping, and we're looking at that maybe at the end of this year, I don't expect them to win 10 games. I don't expect them to win 5 games. But if we can get one.
Is there one?
Is there
just one?
Just one. Then, I'm tired. I don't want to go to another Columbia football game and I see the Max Preps guy walking up and down the sideline, trying, getting ready to write his story about the streak continues.
Right.
I want it to be the streak has ended.
Right.
So, and I think Sammy and the new principal at Columbia, they're heading that way. They're making changes at that school, and that school it's in our fastest growing feeder pattern in the city. I mean, West Huntsville is growing, and the kids are coming. So we need there to be something for them to come to, and I think we did a good job. He's put together a good staff. And I'm looking forward to seeing the change that he's going to make.
That is something cool, man. Hope it works out for him for sure.
Yeah,
right.
I do too. But the other part of your question is, this year our other schools we also made a change. We made 2 other changes in coaching changes. Grissom High School hired a new coach this year. Their coach last year moved on. And also Lee High School hired a new coach. Lee High School's coach, Coach McGuire, who did a good job there. He moved into administration. He's a assistant principal now in the district. He just wanted to try that, and see if that's the avenue he takes. He's got younger kids, and he's coached for a while, even though he's young. But he's coached for a long time. So he that's the progression sometimes, so they hired Antonio Ford, who was on the staff. He's a Troy University graduate, and he was already on the staff there, and we're looking at him to do a good job. They're going to have a young team. They're going to be very young, but I think he'll do a good job. Grissom hired actually another member of Lee's staff. Their offensive coordinator from last year, Preston Judah. He's their new head coach. I think he's doing a good job. I've been to a couple of his practices also and seen them over the summer in 7-on-7s. They got a lot of kids out, and they're also moving in the right direction. Huntsville High's coach Jimmy Gay. This will be his second year at Huntsville High, and he has a couple big time prospects on the O line that one has a Power 5 offer already, as I think a rising 10th or 11th grader, I believe, big time player, and he's got a lot of players. And then you got May Jemison, who is near and dear to my heart because I worked on the north side of Huntsville for 17 years, and the Jemison feeder pattern used to be the Johnson feeder pattern, and that's where I worked at. And they have Division I talent all over the field, and then they have a big time player, Hezekiah Smith, who he's an Auburn commit already, and they have another kid that plays safety that is committed to South Alabama. So I look for all our teams to doing well this year. Last year was a down year for football in Huntsville. In the city, we did not have a team make the playoffs last year, which was the first time that I can remember that happening in Huntsville City in a long time. So I'm looking for that to change. I understand when people think of Huntsville City athletics, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Basketball.
And I love that. I want Huntsville to be the premier city in the state of Alabama when it comes. I want them to think, hey man, if you play high school basketball, I want you to go to Huntsville. But I want that same energy in our football programs. I want the same energy, and we're working towards that. We're working really, really hard to make that happen.
Well, Mac, this is definitely some great things that you guys are doing there in Huntsville. We're looking forward to some good returns. Definitely, hopefully, Columbia can get off the winless streak, and yeah, man, things can change.
And I said that kid's name was Smith. It's Hezekiah Harris. I made a mistake right there. It's so many kids in the city that I see and talk to.
Understand that.
Yeah. So we got 24,000 kids.
Right.
so
well, you're doing a fabulous job there in the city of Huntsville. Great work. And good luck to you this season. Hopefully you get you many good nights rest ahead of Friday Night Lights.
Hey, I'm telling you.
They're getting ready to kick off.
That's right. And so, I always, I'm trying to follow AD Bryant's league. I'm going to say go Huntsville Athletics, but I'm also going to say go Bulldogs.
Absolutely. Go. It's always go Bulldogs.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. A&M all the way. Wherever I go, A&M all day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So, Mac Howard, great to see you, my brother. We have to have you back on again, man, coming up here in the future. Because then the story will be told differently. We know the story will be different next time. Be some wins, and it'll be a playoff appearance.
That's right.
In the air tonight.
I feel
Phil Collins.
That's right. I appreciate you.
All right,
God bless you, man. We'll see you.
God bless y'all.
Like I said, I feel it in the air tonight. Phil Collins.
Stuff, man. Good stuff.
Yeah, man. So football days in Huntsville continue. Everybody make sure you hit the like button, like the stream. Those that are coming on. And yeah, we're gonna keep it rolling. Next two guys, they're very familiar to the Hill, spent many years on the Hill, doing many big things in the city of Huntsville. These guys represent Hazel Green High School. This gentleman is entering his second year as Hazel Green High School's head coach. Also, likewise, this A&M alum and former football player, friend of the show, friend of the city, ambassador of homecoming. He's entering his second year on that staff as well. This head coach, he also was a long time a position coach at Alabama A&M on the football squad. So we welcome back to these guys back to the show. Once again, please welcome with us Fred Farrier and PJ Thompson. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening. Good evening.
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing, man?
All right. Doing excellent.
Yeah, man. Second year at Hazel Green. Last year, y'all, I said that y'all were going to get some wins, plural. You got wins, plural. But obviously, we know that this is the second season is where you guys definitely want to make more headway. We definitely want to hear about what you guys are doing with the program because we know everything's getting ready to kick off. So, T. Gooden, take the lead, brother.
Yes, sir. So, again, thank you, Coach Farrier. Thank you, Coach Thompson. He's Coach Thompson now. When I see him on the outside, PJ, what up, PJ? He Coach Thompson now.
Good. How you doing?
Man, I'm good. I'm always good, brother. So, Coach Farrier, just tell us a little bit. We know PJ's on your staff. Tell us who's on your staff, what position they coach, and things like that, so we can kind of get familiar. Because there may be some more familiar names on there that we know of.
So I appreciate it. First off, thank you guys for allowing me to be on your podcast. Always enjoyed my time on the Hill and have always enjoyed the connections I made with a number of you gentlemen over the course of those years and my time here in Huntsville. You made it really a place that I enjoy being. So this is second year, like you guys have already mentioned, coming off a 3-7 season. Last year, when we took over the program, we were on a 13-14 game losing streak. So it was really hard to get coaches to come out here and coach. So we started with a staff of 11 coaches last year. Torrey Strong was my defensive coordinator. He's coached in the area. He came over from Madison County High School. Derek Price from the Birmingham area came up as a secondary coach, special teams coordinator. Of course, I hired PJ Thompson as one of my offensive line coaches. We retained another offensive line coach who played college football at West Alabama and another school before he transferred there, Dresden Williams. He's been pretty instrumental in my staff. And then we added some other guys, Matt Mason, Gene Fisher, Dusty Gardner, a few guys who have coached in this area. Marcel Kraft, Devin Garner, defensive line. Marcel Kraft actually works on the Hill as a police officer on the Hill, one of the sergeants there. And we're fortunate to be able to get him at times. We got Tevin Threet, who came over from James Clemens. And then we've also added a couple guys. Last year, my staff was 10 coaches plus me. We've actually grown our staff size this year. You know, we want to be a formidable 6A team. So, you know, you look at the teams that play in the playoffs and have a chance to win and be successful and have strong programs. They have 15, 16, 17, 18 coaches on their staff. So this year we'll have a staff of 18 coaches, including myself. We added 2 more guys from the Hill, guys who are former players. Jonathan Williams, who was an all-conference offensive lineman. He'll help us with our offensive line. He's going to be a tremendous addition, just someone who's still close to the game, techniques and fundamentals, and can really relate to our players. Our players really buy in to him being so close, and they can actually go back and still see him playing on television and stuff like that. And then we also added Xavier Billingsley to help us on defense, special teams, a guy who did a great job at A&M, played on special teams, played defense, to be able to bring 2 young guys who can kind of get in there and demonstrate drills and still get in the 3-point stance. And, you know, if they demonstrate a drill for more than 5 yards, we're not worried about them popping a hamstring or blowing out a quad. So it's always good to get some of that young energy on our staff. And then, you know, we added Mike Mathis as our strength coach. He's another guy who has spent some time at A&M. And we added Dr. Tanya Davis as our mental performance coach, who's actually a licensed psychologist and a professor on A&M's campus. So my staff has huge ties to Alabama A&M. You know, my time on the Hill are years that I really, really cherish, including our 2021 SWAC championship and HBCU national championship. So, you know, we had some big wins there. You know, we won the Classic a number of times the first few years that we were there. And, you know, I really enjoyed my time on the Hill and be able to bring kind of some of that success and that winning mentality up here to Hazel Green has been really, really good for our program. So we're excited and looking forward to year 2, really, really looking forward to year 2.
Okay, Coach. Coach, talk to us a little bit about this new football facility you guys have. What are you looking to get out of that? And just tell us what you how the athletes are excited for it.
So anytime you play at a high level, you know, whether it's 6A or 7A, you want a program that has facilities where your kids can, number one, get better. They can get stronger, they can get faster, and they get the feel of playing in a big time football facility. During my time here, we have been fortunate to make some improvements in our weight room right at the beginning of my first year, kind of in August, right before the season last year. We added 5 brand new double-sided weight room racks into our weight room. We got 5 more coming in the next couple of months as we finish that. So we'll have 10 double-sided weight racks where we can actually get 20 kids in a rack at a time, you know, where we can rotate and get a good number of kids in our weight room. We actually made some improvements and some expansion in our locker room. We added close to 30 brand new wooden customized lockers with HG logos on them, leather seats, very similar to what you see in major college programs. We added 30 custom lockers last summer, right before the season. And then our school system was very kind and generous with the impetus from our principal, Dr. Quinn Hedden. We were able to be a school that was a recipient of a new turf field this season. So they spent a little over $1.6 million. They put in a brand new artificial turf surface, and it is really, really beautiful, has really enhanced our stadium. They've kind of created some more space between the field and the stands. We're getting ready to enter into a partnership with D.R. Horton Homes to where they're going to come in and redo our reserve seating section. They're going to help us add some other improvements to our program, and being able to have brand name sponsors like a DR Horton, one of the largest home builders in this area, is going to be a huge kind of startup for us. It'll get some other sponsors that'll jump in the boat and help us do some things as we got the new stadium. We got to go out and raise some money to get a new scoreboard in here and continue the things that we want to do to create a first-class environment for our football program and our kids, so that we can compete for region championships, we can compete for state championships, and have a chance to do that on an ongoing basis. My goal as a head coach here is to make Hazel Green a destination place, to where, as people move into the Madison County area, right now everybody wants to move to Madison, but you can come out to Hazel Green. They're still expanding. They're still putting up brand new developments everywhere. We're not landlocked out here. So you can come out here, you can get half an acre, you can get you an acre lot, you can put you a nice, pretty house on it. And it's going to be cheaper than some of the other areas in the county and in this area. And if we can get a first-class football program and we can couple that with, we got a girls basketball program that won 7 state championships in a row. Our girls volleyball team and girls softball team have been really, really competitive. Our boys basketball team made a Sweet 16 run last year. So those guys are getting better and improving. They're anticipating to have a really good team this year. The majority of their team from last year is back. So, if we can add a football program to that's competitive and people feel good about, this can become a place where people, when they come to the Huntsville area, they say, hey, we want to move out to Hazel Green. They got great high school sports out there. Everything is growing. Everything is expanding. There's plenty of restaurants. There's nice housing out there, and we can get some land, and we can compete for a state championship in football. So if we can create that, there's a lot of really strong programs in the state that started just the same way that Hazel Green has started. That's how Hoover started. That's how Thompson started. That's how Moody started. 4 years ago, Moody hired a new coach, and they were coming off an 0-10 season. They were kind of out in the middle of nowhere, coming out of Birmingham. Now they've expanded that area. That team played for a state championship in year 4. So, our goal is to keep improving our program, to get quality players in here, and to make this a place where people want to move to Hazel Green because they know their kids are going to be coached very well. They're going to have an opportunity to go play in college, and they're going to be prepared for whatever is next when they leave our care as a high school graduate at Hazel Green High School.
Man, I love it. Real quick, you trying to put people in Hazel Green, Matt trying to get people over to Columbia. Recruit on, bro.
Hey, when it's all said and done, we play 3 Huntsville City Schools. So let's figure out who the champion coming out of that, and whoever win the most games, they move to that area at the end of the season.
I had a question for Coach Thompson, but I see that he disappeared. So, Coach, I'm gonna throw this question to you. Like Wayne mentioned, you going into your second year, and you always hear coaches talking about when it comes to their players, they want their players to buy into, their culture, their system, and the standard they're trying to set. I want you to talk to us a little bit about that standard and that culture that you're trying to set, and how have the players adapted to that?
Yeah, that's a great question, and that's really something that a lot of coaches talk about when they take over a program. You'll hear coaches all the time talk about building culture and building structure and changing a culture, and that's really what you're trying to do. You're trying to convince kids who are not used to winning how to win. You're trying to teach them how to change habits that don't contribute to winning, how to change actions that don't contribute to winning or being successful. And last year we were coming off an 0-10 season. The examples that they had the previous year were not the greatest of examples. So what they knew were not habits, and were not actions, and were not traits of people who are successful in a lot of areas. So right away, we tried to begin to change some of those habits, change some of those thought processes, and try to get our kids to think and act differently, to change the mentality of who they are, how they function, and what they do on an everyday basis. One of the biggest things that we brought last year was discipline. Now, when most people think about discipline, when you say discipline and we're going to instill discipline, most people think about punishments. Well, in my mind, discipline is really who you are every day. It's really not a punishment. Discipline is the person who gets up every day on time. Discipline is the person who goes to the gym every time. Discipline is the person who decides to eat healthy every day, who doesn't, eat bad on a very often basis. So discipline is really who we are every day. And if I can get those guys to be disciplined, we're going to stay on sides. We're not going to jump off sides on third down. We're not going to have a lot of pre-snap penalties on offense. So year one, it was really more so about trying to instill discipline and structure into our players. Going into year two, as we get more buy-in, like you talked about, we have instilled what we call the green standard. And the green standard really has 6 components. Number one is toughness. And when we talk about toughness, we're trying to teach these guys not necessarily how to get into a fight, even though we want them to be able to finish a fight, but in toughness, we're trying to get them to adopt the mindset of we're going to figure out how to get done, what I need to get done, the way it needs to get done, no matter what the obstacles are. Being able to get to practice, being able to be home on time like your parents say. If your parents say wash the dishes, then you wash the dishes, whether you're tired or sleepy or not. If your parents say take out the trash, you take out the trash, whether it's snowing, raining, or icy or whatever outside. Toughness is really all about getting done what needs to be done, the way it needs to be done, no matter what the obstacles are. And in this generation of kids, they have so many things that they allow to be limitations and hindrances for them. They got an excuse for everything. And these kids nowadays, they will actually get into an argument with you when they do something wrong, and they will get into an argument with you to try to explain why what they did in their mind is right. It's still wrong all day long. So we've tried to get them to just get some toughness to just learn how to get things done. The second thing that we want them to do is be committed. Nowadays, kids quit everything. The transfer portal in sports have really crushed the work hard mentality, because if you don't get the success that you like, there's not an immediate pat on the back. There's not the trophy given to you, or you don't score 10 touchdowns, or you don't catch all the passes that you want. You say, oh, my coach don't know what he's talking about. I'm going to just get in the transfer portal. I don't want to play here no more. He telling me I need to work harder. He telling me I need to get better at these 3 or 4 things, but he don't know what he's talking about. I'm just going to go somewhere else and play for somebody else, and I'm going to get out of here. So kids really aren't committed to a lot of things. They might work out for a day or two. Day 3, they done. They off to something else, so it's that immediate gratification syndrome where we're trying to get kids to stay committed to what it is, what the goal is. So the next thing we want them to do is once we get them to act with some toughness and they're committed to what the goal is, we want them to have some focus. We want them to have a laser-like focus on what it is that we got to get done, be locked in on how we get it done, be focused, committed, and really driven with some discipline and some willpower and some toughness to get done what we need to get done. Once we get the focus, now we want to have some consistency. You'll hear coaches say all the time, surges of greatness or instances of greatness to get you beat. Once you do it right, we want you to do it right all the time. Not just one time, not just 2 times. We want you to do it right all the time. And that's where you get into mastering the mundane, doing the little things right, because that's when people tend to lose focus on the little things. We want them to learn how to be consistent just by doing the little things right all the time. Once we get past those 4 things, we want them to have a relentless pursuit of continuous improvement. We want them to become relentless on trying to be the best that they can be. I want to be the first one in line. I want to be the first one to class. I want to be the first one to turn in my homework. I want to be the first one to get on the practice field. I want to be the last one to lead the practice field. I want a relentless pursuit of continuous improvement to try to get better in every single thing I do in life, in the classroom, in the cafeteria, on the football field, on Friday nights, and in every single thing we do. When you walk down an aisle towards the grocery store and you see stuff on the aisle, I want you to try to figure out how that's going to make you become a better football player. I want you constantly thinking about how can you become a better person? How can you become a better teammate? How can you become a better companion in a relationship? All those things, I want them to truly be relentless in trying to figure out how to be the best thing that they can be, best person that they can be, and do the best that they can do in everything they do. And then finally, the 6th tenet of our foundation of our green standard is the finish. We got to learn how to finish what we do. We can't just start the season great. We got to stay healthy. We got to continue to work out. We got to continue to study film. We got to continue to get good grades. And we got to play a high school football for 48 minutes. And if at the end of that 48 minutes is tied, we got to go to overtime, and we got to finish overtime. You'd be amazed that when a game might be over and it might be overtime, or it's one more opportunity to play, how many kids would just take a deep breath and go, oh, man, I can't believe I got to go back out here on the field. Man, it's another opportunity for you to get on the field and play, whether it's a turnover, whether it's a quick play touchdown. Our defense get a chance to go back out on the field and get the ball back for us. Our offense get a chance to go out there and score a touchdown. We want them to want to finish every single thing they do. And if we can get those kids to learn how to do those 6 things, how to be tough, how to be committed to something, how to have focus, how to become consistent at what they're doing, to be relentless in their pursuit of improvement, and to learn how to finish what they do, I truly believe that those guys can be successful in anything that they do in any facet of their life, in leadership roles, and in the workforce, and relationships, as a teammate, as a friend, and as an athlete playing a sport, whatever that sport may be. And if we can get them to do those 6 things, that's going to translate into us winning some football games here at Hazel Green High. But more importantly, it's going to translate into those guys being ready and well prepared for whatever is next for them in life, whether that's college football, the military, the workforce, or whatever it is, entrepreneurship. Those guys will be very well prepared and ready for whatever is next for them.
Well, Coach Farrier, it's been great to have you on. 3-7 in year 1. We're looking forward to hearing about how everything is going to turn around even better here in year 2. Congrats on the new facilities. Congrats on the progressions, and congrats on everything in advance ahead of this 2025 season, my brother. Thanks for joining us.
We appreciate it. Hopefully we can see some of y'all and some of the A&M people out here for our first home game against Buckhorn in the Cotton Bowl on September 12th. It'll be our opening of the new stadium, new turf field, and all that kind of stuff. And we love to see some people turn out so we can have a great game that weekend.
Yes, sir. I'm going to try my best to make it.
Awesome. All right. God bless, man. Thank you,
Coach.
Yeah.
All right. Off he goes. Coach Fred Farrier from Hazel Green High School. There.
What's up, fellas? Ain't seen y'all in a while.
Hey, good to see you. We got the whole group. The only person we missing tonight is Jen. She has something going on, so we know that she probably somewhere sneaking and watching. So shout out to you, Jen. All right, now our next guest tonight, he has been on our show quite a few times. He definitely is friend of the show, friend of all of us personally. He is a man that is of many talents and does so many things, wears so many hats, calls games for the SWAC. He also calls basketball games for Alabama A&M. And he also is the sports director there in Huntsville for Fox 54. Southern Jag grad, SWAC through and through. Please welcome back to our show, Mo Carter. How's it going, Mo?
Big Mo.
Hey, fellas, doing good. Good to see y'all again. I know y'all always say that I'm a friend of the show. I feel like I'm family because I definitely have been on the show probably as much as any other guest probably combined, but it's a good thing.
You are definitely our brother on the show.
Yeah, well, Mo, man, it's a lot of things going on, man. We know this is a busy time of year for you, especially. So we definitely thank you, man, for just taking the time to be on. So without further ado, T Gooden, you get it again.
Mo, what's going on, brother?
T Good, I'm good, man. You know, we got you in that cutaway shot at the scrimmage last week.
Hey, I know. I was in there. Hey, check this out. I had just got my hair braid. I said, I appreciate that, Mo. You know what I'm saying? I was ready.
Yeah, who was out there, did it, and I was like, "Hey, man, you got like 3 people from, with the From the Hill podcast right in one shot." He was like, "Oh, shoot, sure did."
we and talking about the game, you know how we do. But all right, so Mo, this is you. It's just hard to pinpoint. Like Wayne said, it's just kind of hard to pinpoint what Mo Carter does, because you guys, this is a busy time for you. You cover Football Friday every Friday. You also cover you travel, cover the SWAC. What's your schedule looking like? Talk to us about what you got going on this fall.
All right. Well, man, I'll tell you this. Like right now, I'm in the midst over the next 2 weeks. Literally, we have a preseason SEC special that'll air on Fox 54 this upcoming weekend, putting the final touches on that. Next week, we have our preseason SWAC special that will be recorded and then will air next weekend. On top of that, our high school football show, First Down Friday Night, will debut for season number 10 next Friday. So looking forward to that. from a fan perspective, I'll hit the road and head to Atlanta for the MEAC SWAC Challenge to go check out my alma mater for one of the few times a year I get a chance to actually be a fan, So, we'll check them out. And then after that, be hitting the road here, there, and everywhere doing SWAC TV. I have the debut game on SWAC TV with Southern traveling over the Mississippi Valley on August 30th. So looking forward to that. And I've got a number of A&M games on it as well. So looking forward to, calling a number of games, which is good because like last year for the SWAC, I had 0 A&M games, but I had like 4 Bama State games. How crazy is that? But, I'll just say thank you
about that.
Well, it primarily was because of HBCU Go taking a bunch of A&M games last year. That's really what happened, and that's why I got stuck heading down I-65 to go hang out with the Hornets and Huntsville native Dr. Jason Cable. But I got a couple of games. Well, I got several games with Alabama A&M this year, so looking forward to that. And all of a sudden, man, we're gonna have a whole lot of fun with it, and after that, it'll be basketball season.
Yes, sir.
Man.
So Mo, you get a front row seat to Bulldog football, right? And you play football at this level. You've seen some practices in the spring and in the fall camp. What are some things that you think may surprise the Bulldog Nation this fall?
The main thing is discipline. Man, like I have seen discipline at a brand new level with this Alabama A&M football team. And I'm not taking away anything from Coach Maynard or whatever, but like it's just a different mindset that I see these guys on the field under Coach Shade and his staff. I mean, clearly, Coach Shade, well, we know. He's played at the highest level, whether it was being on a national championship football team with the University of Alabama in the early 90s or being with the Cleveland Browns or Washington Redskins at the time in the NFL. I mean, this guy knows how to do it, and he's got players who are buying in. So I really do like the discipline aspect, and I think Alabama A&M is going to be more physical this year as well. I kind of noticed that from the first couple of days. I saw him the last day in shells and the first day in full gear. And I really, really was impressed with what they had going on. I mean, the spring, you kind of saw it here and there, but y'all know how it is. It was the spring. Had a lot of guys either trying to solidify a spot on the team or at least stay on the team because, once a new coach comes in, everything's really just up for grabs. That's just kind of the culture, how things go. But all in all, very impressed with the discipline and how physical this team will be this upcoming year. And all things considered, the schedule is favorable for Alabama A&M. Do I see them winning the East Division title this year? Probably not. But could they call somebody else to be in the mix and then they knock them off later in the season? Maybe so. I can see a winning season as well on the forefront, but clearly we got to see how these things are going to play out week by week.
Cincinnati Bengals, Mo. You said Cleveland
Cincinnati,
Browns.
okay. My apologies, Cincinnati Bengals. Good looking out. Hey, look, we make mistakes sometimes.
He only got 100 jobs, so
can't give them all.
Mo know what it is. I gotta keep. We keep everybody honest.
Nah, look, I appreciate it because look, at the end of the day, fact checking is the main thing. Can't get up here giving false information. You might lose your job.
It's better you say it here than you be in a press conference, boy.
Exactly.
Hey, Mo, I kind of wanted to stick right there. I just asked Coach Farrier about, culture and discipline, and with the interviews that you've done with not just with Coach Shea, but also with the players. The players have even said things like, their structure. So when you speak to the players, what are you getting from them, with Coach Shea and his staff and them buying into his whole system?
Well, you said the magic words right there, buying in. That is the main thing. Like, Coach Shade had a plan. He implemented it. He hired a staff. That staff implemented their plan. And on top of that, basically, if you're a player, like either you're going to get with it or you're going to be gone. So I really, really think like the players he has at Alabama A&M right now, they not only want to be Bulldogs, they want to be players of Coach Sam Shade and want to do good things in life. And also, I think because Coach Shade has played in the NFL and he's got a number of coaches who have either coached or played on the highest level as well, really, really kind of just changes the narrative when it becomes a player, because everything they're telling them to do, hey, they've have been through it, and now they want the players to kind of go through it as well. I think Coach Farrier kind of said something along those lines, but I'm certainly seeing it for sure with that. So, when you talk to a guy like Kawhi Brown, he knows what's up. He knows the deal, and then you just turn around and you lead by example. And I think nowadays with social media and videos here, there, and everywhere, these guys who may have not known who Coach Shea was, they know who he is now because of his track record from coaching on a high school level or coaching at Miles and being a championship quality coach, from just this past season.
Yeah, I'm glad that you kind of solidified that, because one thing that was said by AD Bryant, or VP and AD Bryant, is that during the interview process, when the players had the opportunity to talk to Coach Shea, after their exchange, they were ready to run into brick walls for him right then and there during that interview. So I'm glad you kind of solidified that those players have definitely bought in, and from the beginning, they were ready to play for Coach Shea.
Indeed. And Dave, I want to add to this too, clearly all you guys have spoken with Coach Shea, and I think you'll kind of agree with it. He's got that old school mentality, but he's finding a way to incorporate new iterations of what today's standards are. And I think that's a good mix that will kind of help Alabama A&M, take another step that we have not seen, really since championship years a few years ago.
Yep.
Hey, Mo, Eddie Robinson Jr. is the most tenured coach in the SWAC.
That's crazy.
And that is crazy.
And he just got here.
Fourth year at that.
Yeah, got here.
So that's one of the things that I see. And, with the transfer portal and everything, now people really don't know what to expect, because you really can flip a team in 1 year. Based on all the teams in the SWAC, what's your outlook on some of the teams that you think that may surprise people, or because, we all get our predictions and things, but really no one really knows what's going to happen. But what do you think is some of the surprises that can happen this year, some of the teams to look out for this way?
So it's kind of hard to really get a grasp as far as what the true outlooks are going to be because of the transfer portal. I was telling somebody a couple of weeks ago on another show, I was like, I used to be able to tell you, all right, coming out of spring, it's probably going to be this prediction or that prediction. You won't be off too much. But nowadays with the transfer portal, you got guys that are in the spring and then they're gone and then they're replaced by midsummer, and then you bring some more guys into August. So when you just you have to kind of just look at what and who's really coming back. And then after that, you'll be able to really just determine how things are really after the first, second, or third week, just in general. We've been talking about Alabama A&M. I think your lovely friends down there in Montgomery, I think they're going to be okay. It'll really just be more so if they can get their offense rolling. Because I feel like this, Eddie Robinson Jr. is always going to have a good defense. It'd be a shame if he didn't have a good defense, just in general. They might take the SWAC title away from him if they ever had a bad defense, in my opinion. But I think, I think if they can get some things going offensively, and we know where this is always going. Basically, if Andrew Body can be healthy, then I think that offense can kind of have a better balance of running and passing. They had a hell of a running attack last year once they got down to the fifth-string quarterback. They just couldn't get things going from a passing standpoint. So it'll be interesting to see what they've got going on. I think Alcorn State may be a surprise team this year just because a lot of people aren't talking about Coach Thomas and them a lot. And they had some good players. They just lost some games they should have just not lost in certain instances, like against Alabama State, for example. They had the lead late in the game, and then Bama State took the lead, and then they had a Hail Mary that came up 4 yards short. And probably one of my best calls of the year. He caught it 4 yards short. Bama State wins, So I think Alcorn will definitely have a good shot of things. I'll also say this. Keep an eye out on who wins that Labor Day clash between Texas Southern and Prairie View. I really, really think who wins that will really have not so much an upper hand in the West, but I really, really think they'll have a whole lot more to work with. Because don't get me wrong, Tremaine Jackson, he's talking a good game. And I expect him to do that. I wouldn't want him to go to be like, man, look, we're going to be all right. We're going to be No, I would probably fire that dude the next week if I heard him say that, if I was, the athletic director. And remember, they've got a new AD as well. So, they're working together cohesively to try to build some things going up with that. So I really, really think that'll be the case there. Or Coach Chris Dishman in Texas Southern will get things going. That provides momentum as you go into the rest of the year for that. So I really, really think the two Texas schools could be in the mix. And then after that, man, you got the rest. You got the stalwarts. You got the Jackson States. You got the FAMUs, and you've got the Southern. So it'll be a very interesting year. I don't think anyone's going to be undefeated in conference play this year, in my opinion, just because of the way the conference slate stacks up. I could be wrong, but I just do not think that's the case. And Jackson State fans, if you're watching, please don't come after me. I'll just go and just say this. Take a look at your later part of your schedule when your team has to go from the West Coast to the East Coast in 6 days. That is something that could be very, very detrimental, not so much to the team itself, but from a body standpoint, from a rest standpoint. Like that could be it could be something in that mix. So, but I would say for sure, just to kind of go back to it, I would say your two Texas schools will probably certainly be in the mix, and then also look out for Alcorn as well, which is all credits because all those are 3 West schools. So I guess we get the wacky wild West again.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that you talk about certain things. Just, when you talk about Jackson State, obviously, they return a lot and they've got some key transfers, and people believe that they're gonna basically have a walk to a repeat championship. But obviously, you being the Southern Jag guy that you are, you guys definitely have a chance to really redeem some things. You guys won the West last year. You also won 3 overtime games in the process, one of them in 5 overtimes.
Right.
But talk about how you feel about your squad though, the Jaguars.
So, of course, I played for Coach Graves. He was my defensive coordinator back in the mid to late 2000s. So I've been happy on the fact that he has had an opportunity to return to Baton Rouge and do some good things. I think this year they're in a better place in the trenches. They've got more depth on the offensive line and the defensive line. They've got a few key transfers in the defensive backfield. And I think Woods is QB1 he's got QB1 locked down to where he understands that, all right, I've been in a scenario where next man up. Well, I'm not about to let next man be up in that sense. The other thing, too, for Southern that I think they have to take advantage of, you got Florida A&M at home, and you have Jackson State at home, and you have Prairie View at home. You got to handle business at home. Those are by far are going to be 3 of the biggest games of the season. And unlike previous years, the FAMU and the Jackson State game are both conference games, which could determine not just how things go for the conference, but if they want to host, they've got to get through those 2 teams. Clearly, ever since they've went to the whole hosting for the SWAC championship, anytime Southern's played, they've been the away team. They've had to travel. So I think a good advantage for them this year is taking advantage of some key home games that they have against Jackson and Florida A&M. And then, of course, they'll take on Prairie View as well. Matter of fact, I think they got Prairie View and FAM like in back-to-back weeks. So that could be –
They do.
Yeah,
they do.
So it's literally like homecoming one. I think it's homecoming for Prairie View and then FAMU the following week. So, I mean, that should be 3 sold-out crowds easily in the situation there. So the Bluff should be rocking during those various weeks. And if I'm not mistaken, I want to say so Jackson's at the end of September.
September 27th, Jackson State.
So basically, you got those 3 games in like a 6-week span. So they've got to take advantage of that. If they can take advantage, then things look a little bit smoother in the West, but they're going to have to keep the foot on the pedal because I think Gramblin's going to be a better team as well this upcoming year. I think Mickey Jones is finally getting some things going. And also I think he's kind of feeling the pressure knowing that, hey, you just can't be average in Lincoln Parish. So, you got to do some things there. But as far as me from an alma mater standpoint, I think Southern is certainly the favorite to win it. Now it's up to them to handle being the favorite and getting through the schedule, which begins next week in Atlanta against NC Central.
Yeah, and you guys have lost 6 straight games against Jackson State and 5 straight against FAMU. So y'all definitely got that chip on your shoulder.
Indeed.
Mo, I know you got a live show to get ready for, so you still got a little time, just a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I just don't want to hold you up because I know you got to do the real news in a couple hours. So I just want to step out of Huntsville, step out of SWAC for a second. Let's talk about some power force stuff. My first thing is, how do you think the Auburn Tigers and Alabama Crimson Tide are going to look this year? And as I know it's early, but who do you think is going to come on top and win that college national championship this year?
All right, I'll start with the simple thing first. Auburn will be improved. They will be improved. Do I think, they'll be in the running for Atlanta? Probably not, but because I see them winning 7-8 games this upcoming year, I think it's a possibility just because, once again, I think Hugh Freeze and company feel the pressure. He keeps talking about the word of the camp is expected. We're expected to do this. We're expected to do that. And I get it. He's had like 2 straight top 10 recruiting classes, not just with the people they've signed, but also with the transfer classes. We got a transfer QB who was a starting quarterback at Oklahoma until the latter part of the season last year. So I think Auburn will be in a better spot or whatever overall. I still don't think they're going to make it to Atlanta just because I just think SEC is just so top heavy. I think Alabama's best route was naming Ty Simpson the quarterback. I think that was the best thing. I mean, dude's been at Bama for a number of years. I think he was in
3 years, 3 seasons.
Yeah. So this is his 4th season. And in the world of transfer portal, he could have hit the portal many times, but he didn't. So I think because of that, he's gained so much knowledge, and now he understands it is his time. On top of that, he knows that, hey, he's got former 4-star Austin Mack and 5-star Keelan Russell waiting in the trenches for him to mess up. So he understands that case will be there. Look for Alabama to be a little bit more balanced this year, though, offensively. I really think that's going to be the case. Defense, I think they're going to be, they're going to be good. I just think that Womack just had to really just get his feet wet or whatever with understanding what was going down in the SEC, and I think they'll be solid. Bama's going to be in the running. I don't know if they're actually going to get to Atlanta right now. My top 3, just because of the way schedules are set up, are Texas, Georgia, and actually South Carolina. Yeah, South Carolina's got one hell of a quarterback.
Lenora Sellers, man,
Yeah.
QB. And
That
remember,
dude-
they won 6 straight games to end the regular season last year.
including
They won at
beating
Clemson.
Yep. Yeah, like that dude is the real deal. So I think he will be able to carry them well into the season. And of course, the head coach is Shane Beamer, the son of Frank Beamer. So he's got some good blood, with him as well. And one thing I didn't realize, I was watching Paul Feinbaum earlier today. Beamer has like the most wins in the first 4 years, South Carolina, than any other coach. So I think that's kind of speaking volume as well, considering that, we know what South Carolina's really, really been. So, but yeah, I think that Texas, Georgia, and South Carolina are probably your top 3, maybe with an LSU kind of hanging around right around 4, along with Alabama in that scenario. I just hate now that we don't have the divisions. So because we don't have the divisions, it makes it even harder to predict what the SEC is really, really going to look like. As far as the national championship picture, man, I don't know, bro. There's too many goddamn teams the way this is set up. I feel like, heck, those 3 to 4 SEC teams I just mentioned, I think they'll be in the mix. I think Notre Dame is going to be back in the mix again. I think Penn State could be in the mix. Oregon could be in the mix. I mean, it's so convoluted. I really hate that they went to 12. I wish if they would have increased, I wish they'd have went to like 8, and it would still been a little simplified version. Now I feel like all these non-conference games that these SEC teams have scheduled for the future against the other power conference almost like make no sense, because if you're going to take the top 12 teams, what does it matter if Texas loses to Oklahoma in week 1? What does it matter if they still run the table and go like 11-1 or 12-1 the rest of the way? So, yeah, I kind of hate that they kind of done that. So, yeah, the national championship thing, man, look, your guess is about as good as mine. I think it'll be a little bit more predictable once we get to like October, give or take. And
You think October? I'm about to say December.
Well, certainly it'll be December, but at least we'll have a better idea who's doing what by October in that scenario. Because, I mean, I think really you'll have those important games from the early season that'll kind of play a factor into several different teams in different power conferences.
So Mo, I'm a business guy. I like seeing the business end of sports, right? What ends up with the FCS conferences regarding this House versus NCAA settlement?
So honestly, I can't speak for the other conferences because I've only seen bits and pieces. At least the SWAC has a plan. At least the SWAC has a plan. I think that's a big thing. So the other conferences, you just really got to have your plan situated and just find a way to make sure that you're generating whatever revenue you need to generate to eat the first payback your former players if you decide to opt in a certain way, or to also go ahead and or pay the NCAA for whatever portions of the settlements. I got first wind of that last year. I was sitting in the airport getting ready to fly back from Miami to New Orleans for the Bayou Classic and stuff. And somebody texted me and was like, hey, Dr. McClellan's getting ready to talk to the Board of Trustees for both Grambling and Southern. And that's when he really broke it down the first time I had ever heard it publicly about here's what's going to happen with the SWAC if we go this way. Certain amount of schools are going to have to owe this and owe that, but don't worry, I've got that plan. So that was one of the first times I heard it. And a few months later, boom, SWAC opting in because they understand what those situations are. Now, how everything else works out for those other conferences, I don't know at the moment or whatever, but I just hope that eventually they will have. I've heard rumors of, you got some lower group of 5 schools that may end up dropping and creating some other thing. And then the higher FCS schools get together and they create a new division. Those are rumors that I keep hearing, but I've seen it more and more and more. But But if you think the transfer portal is crazy, the house settlement stuff is a whole nother thing. I almost feel like I need a PhD to really understand this stuff here, there, and everywhere. All I got is a little undergrad,
And mostly sticking with the business side of things, we know over the summer that the commissioner announced the SWAC TV app that's now out there for everybody to download. And there's already a little bit of content out there, but from conversations you might have had with other coaches or just within the SWAC, what are your thoughts on SWAC TV? I think a lot of SWAC fans were excited to have this. I know it's been asked for a really long time now, and I know the commission is also working on getting some of those old games put on the app. But what are your thoughts about the SWAC TV app?
I love the idea. I'd heard rumors about it for some time, and then once I can say this now that we're closer to the actual season, we have little meetings here and there with some of the people who are usually on the broadcast teams with various folks. So we were kind of wondering, okay, why is ESPN only picking up X amount of games, and then HBCU Go is saying, oh, we're going to take this or whatever, and then boom. So I was like, yeah, because we got something else coming in the works, and then SWAC TV pops off or whatever, and then I get my schedule, and I'm like, oh, I see what's going on with this. So the best thing about SWAC TV is the fact that the SWAC is able to control the narrative as far as what they want to do, not just with football, but really with almost every other sport. It also created a situation where the conference had to either get the schools to upgrade what they need to upgrade, or also invest more finances into various schools across the board to get their video cameras and other things or whatever that's going to enhance the experience to make some things happen, not just for football, basketball, baseball, but also soccer and possibly tennis and, track and field, of course, which I get a chance to do from time to time as well. So, and yeah, Wayne, you can talk more about the track and field side as well. But yeah, I love the SWAC TV situation because it's one of those things where you can say, look, it is us, and you're not relying on it. Now, on top of that, it was like a 3 to 4 year process. A lot of studies went through it. They talked to the SEC about hey, how did you kind of kick off SEC network, that we want to kind of do something there. And the good thing about it, there's a plan. So they want to see how things are going to work in these first couple of years. By the time you get to year 3 or 4, they want to advance some things. And because I work in television, like the way things are going right now, like eventually linear television will become almost an afterthought for more streaming. So because the SWAC is getting on the streaming train right now is a really, really good thing. Because I also say this, I'm very interested to see what happens with ESPN just in general when it comes to, you know, the future of what they're going to do. Because if you notice, you know, if you look on like an ESPN app, for example, nowadays, of course, you know, you see the 30 for 30s, you see the Peyton's Places, but I'm also starting to notice like they're doing more soccer, more racing, and just all sorts of things. And I'm noticing that the content for other sports that we love, if you're not on the big level, they're starting to kind of go away a little bit. So I'm kind of curious if it's going to shrink eventually. And if that's going to be the case, then I'm glad that the SWAC has already jumped on and say, hey, we're going to have this here, there, and everywhere moving forward with it. And the other good thing too is that they have people behind the scenes who knows what's going on. I can say my guy James Crenshaw with Woodlawn and ENT, who did a lot of SWAC digital network stuff. He and his crew will be involved with it, and that's going to be really, really good, along with some other good folks they've done. So it's going to be some good things, and the best thing about it, it's free. It is free. And exactly. It's free. And then there's 3 ways to check it out. You can check it out on your phone via the app. You can check it out on your smart TV or Roku or Amazon TV, Samsung, whatever type of smart TV device you have. And also the website as well. I want to say it's like tv.swac.org or something like that. So there's 3 ways to check it out right then and there. So should be no reason why we're like, oh, what channel is it? What is it? Like, you can literally shoot somebody a text and be like, look, it's right here. So I think it's going to be some good stuff, and it helps the other sports. That's the main thing. It helps the other sports. You get more eyeballs. You know, y'all, how everybody talk about, you know, you want more clicks here and there. Or this is the perfect example for eyeballs. Like eyeballs and then minutes viewed. Dr. McCullough talked about minutes viewed and how many minutes they had for things that were on ESPN Plus this year. Now they have a benchmark as far as like, all right, well, we had ESPN Plus, and I don't know, I'll just give a generalization. We had 60 million minutes on ESPN Plus for 20 games. You know, they're hoping to get 100 million minutes with 45 football games. Like that's what the metrics are going to be with that. On top of that, you already have built-in sponsors that are coming along: Academy, Home Depot, Pepsi, Story. You know, those are Tostitos. All those are already within the mix. And because this is now a national brand, you can even bring in some more coming up with that. So I can't wait to see, you know, what those commercials are going to look like when I'm doing some of those football games this upcoming year. But they've got some good things, and the finances should be in a good spot moving forward with SWAC TV. So I think if this goes well, which I think it will, don't be surprised if you see a copycat league type situation coming down the road for some other folks.
That was good.
Hey, Mo, everybody knows about, you know, the sports guru and everything you do in sports, but I want to talk about, you know, the family man. You know, you're married and you also as a father now. So tell us about that experience that, you know, you've, you know, about that experience as being a father now.
Oh man, it's been great. You know, clearly everybody watches on my social media, whatever I've got, you know, the mini me version, Morrell Carter III. He just started pre-K a couple of weeks ago, and I'm so glad for that, because many days during summer where he was like, Daddy, it's time to go to school yet? It's time to go to school yet? It's time. I'm like, you need to keep that same mindset when you get older. I want to see the same stuff in the future, you know. So no, that it's certainly, you know, it's certainly been great, you know, raising a young prince. All in all, I mean, you know, he's very, very smart. And he's quite lovable. I'm still trying to let him understand that, hey, because you're like me and you can have all these conversations with all other folks, kind of keep it on the high and by situation because of the world we just live in today, just trying to just keep them safe in most situations. But no, overall, like it's been great. I mean, you know, he's my youngest. I have a set of twin daughters who live in Lafayette, Louisiana, who are sophomores and playing volleyball. Got a chance to see them this past summer a couple of times on the travel ball and AAU circuit. And, you know, they're trying to work their way up and, you know, might try to get a scholarship here or there. My hopes are that I can get them up here next summer to where they can go to A&M's volleyball camp and, get them seen as they get ready to go into their junior season. So we'll see on that. But, so they're doing well. And, of course, my wife, man, that's my best friend. We've been kicking and rolling it for 11 years, officially being married. And then, we've been dating another 3 and stuff. And, she's been the road dog. She's been the big homie. And the best thing about it is that she has been practically with me since my professional career actually began. So when we were dating, like, hey, I'm going to be home late or whatever and stuff, she actually understood because she was like, yeah, because I see y'all not even on TV yet and stuff. So the fact that, she understood that and does a lot of things, that just helps out with the household has just been very solid. And, of course, family is everything to me. My parents, they have been married for 44 years. I'm 30. Yeah, 44 years. Her parents have been married like close to 30 and stuff. So, we've had those examples just in general. And then just on top of that, it's just good just to be, in that family component because of things that you can kind of set the stage for the next generation. Just in general. And then, of course, hey, we live in the South, so we got to make sure that our family is entrenched not only with doing good things educationally, but also doing great things in the church as well. So big shout out to, to my home church, St. Mark Baptist, the remarkable church. We're actually celebrating 100 years this week with a centennial coming up. So, so that's going to be some fun things going on. Got John P. Key coming through for our centennial on Friday, and that's going to be great. But I'll say one good thing that has made our family better is being a part of that church family as well. So it's been some good stuff, and I thank God for the family certainly that I do have, and who knows, we may add another one. We'll see. Look, it all depends on how God bless us. You know what I mean? It took a whole pandemic for me and my wife to, finally get our little boy. So
you're stumbling a little bit, Mo. You were stumbling a little bit.
Yeah. Well, Mo, man, it's been great to have you back on here on the show. It's great seeing you, at SWAC Media Day. I know I'm gonna see you again, this fall. I know I'll see you again over the winter. You're a man of many talents, man. And I just like to say from everybody here, man, congrats on all your successes in the present and even those that are going to be still to come, man, because such a talented guy, man. Best days are still in front of you. So, man, just keep moving, keep grinding. And, yeah, man, thank you. Thank you for all you do.
Hey, no problem. And look, I also will continue to say thank all of you guys as well, because, for the most part, I've known majority of y'all for practically I've been here almost a decade, so I've been knowing majority of y'all for a number of those years, especially when I first came up here and really didn't know the lay of the land here and there. I'm like, oh, yeah, so I meet DT. Oh, I meet Wayne. Oh, I meet T. Goody, meet CJ, So I appreciate, the friendship, the brotherhood, and then also just the information that you guys, will drop here or there to me and whatnot, so I can, be on the next step to kind of getting things going, because at the end of the day, still my job to let everybody know in the Tennessee Valley and also with the Alumni Association as far as what Alabama A&M is doing, on our television screen. So I do appreciate that. And also, hey, kudos to you, Wayne, and the whole crew for starting this up, because I still remember one of the first times I was with y'all, and it didn't look like this.
It didn't look like this. It looked like this. It didn't look like this.
It didn't look like this. I think
it looked bad. It's just us, and that was it.
It was just us with the black bars on the top and on the bottom.
Right. Stay tuned.
But no, I'm glad to see the growth from the Hill, primarily because we're in a digital age. So because we're in a digital age, people want to know more and more about their favorite teams and their favorite schools. And you guys have been doing a tremendous job. Just like the folks at Jackson with the 1400 Club. FAMU has theirs. Carlos Brown has his with Southern. So I'm just glad to see that everybody, is continuing to grow. And it certainly shows at SWAC Media Day, for example. You have literally a whole room of digital media now, which is 5 years ago was not the case. So I'm just really, really glad to see the growth of that. And also, hey, I appreciate y'all, embracing me with anything that y'all need. I'm pretty sure I'll talk to y'all before basketball season rolls around, which is going to be some fun. It's going to be a fun year. I'll say that. I've talked to Dr. Bryant off camera, because we didn't mention this because They're waiting to still finalize some things. The basketball schedule for both the men and the women, it's going to be solid, especially for the home schedule. Just want to let y'all know that right now. If you thought last year's schedules were pretty good, what do you see what this year's schedules are going to be like and for the future? So it's going to be some good things. And I know for sure that I'll see majority of y'all in the mix. And Wayne, whenever you come on down for your little trip and all that, can't wait to see you here as well.
And I got you, man, on the preparation ahead of your call for SWAC Indoor. And I'm also doing SWAC Outdoor this year, so I'll be in Baton Rouge too.
Cool.
So we got two things working. So, but Mo, man, appreciate you, brother. I know you got to run, get to your broadcast, but thank you, man. Thank you for taking the time once again for us.
Hey, no problem. Thank you, fellas. And also to the wonderful Miss Jennifer, who I see is in the comments. Right. Everybody have a good night.
You too, man.
All right, take care,
see
Mo.
you, brother. All right, Mo Carter. All right, so let's quickly go back to something here. Corey, want to bring this back up on screen. Take it away, brother.
Hey, I want to challenge all Bulldog fans or all Alabama A&M supporters, even if you have graduated from A&M or not. I want you to support the NIL collective for AAMU athletics. We have a goal to raise $200,000, but my team, the From the Hill team under Corey Williams, our goal is $25,000. But we want to push A&M to the $200,000 for our NIL collective. And for those who participate and those who range in the top 5 in giving, will be able to hang with us from the Hill for homecoming and also another surprise. So I am calling all Bulldog supporters to get on, to donate, and you get credit for the 150th. You just click on 150th NIL Collective for AAMU Athletics and join my team, Corey Williams from the Hill team. And we want to do something special because, hey, you all want a top-notch athletic program. Hey, to get there, we're going to have to give. Players want to come. Players want to get paid. You see T. Gooden talking about players want to get paid. Hey, if you want a top program in athletics, hey, we got to do our part. So I'm challenging you all to get on board now to give to NIL Collective for AAMU Athletics.
And remember,
well said, my brother.
This is something I can add, Wayne, real quick. This is something that as soon as we entered this whole stage of the transfer portal and NIL, this was something that Bulldog Nation was hollering for and was questioning. What are we doing about NILs and collective? How are we keeping our players? And now it's here. So now that it's here, to Corey's point with the facilities and the upgrades and things like that, this is where you need to give. So definitely jump on that train to give to the collective.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Definitely, man. Love all of that. You heard what the gentleman said. Be part of the movement. All right. So what we have for next week, this is who we got here for next week. So we got a very, very nice lineup. We got Quad Brown, who is quarterback. He's been on our show before. He's going to join us next week. Also, his sidekick from SWAC Media Day, also been in the program now 5th year, linebacker Demetrius Biombi. He's going to join us next week. We also got, you knew him previously as Dre the Drummer. He now goes by Dre the Voice. He's the in-game host for A&M Athletics. You've seen him very active. He's been on our show before. He's going to come back again. Dre the Voice. We also got DJ KB, who is the official DJ of Alabama A&M Athletics. And if Jen was here, she would love the tattoo that is on his forearm.
Right. Yeah. please do not get us started.
But DJ KB gonna be on. And then also rounding out the lineup next week, they're getting ready for volleyball to start. You see it across the bottom with their start of the season coming up. Dr. Brandon Reeves, the head coach of Alabama A&M Ladies Bulldogs Volleyball. So that is our lineup for next Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Be here. Those of you that are here with us, make sure you hit that like button, like the stream. Those that have not subscribed, make sure you do that. Fellas, you guys, we've had a very full plate tonight, so we just definitely want to say big shout out to our brother Mac Howard joining the show again. Also, he was on. PJ was here. He was seen. Well, big shout out to PJ. Also, shout out to Coach Fred Farrier, Hazel Green High School, preparing for their next season. And also, you just heard him, Mo Carter. Gentlemen, anything you guys like to add before we depart this evening?
No, man, I'm good. I see what Eric Clay on the list.
I don't see no old lineman on the list at T. Gooden.
List. If you're talking about the players, we got the players.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Cloyd, we got a long season now.
Yeah, tune in.
Hey, he represents the old line. I think the Cloyd is one of our
yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Starting center.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Hey.
Why you call me? Cloyd, don't be Cloyd, you probably strong. I'm sorry. Well, we'll get you on here before the season. I don't want you you probably strong in 6'5".
Hey, we got some big boys and some depth on that old line. So
yeah, I know, man. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They bring.
Yeah.
I don't know his name.
Yeah.
I think it's number 73. I don't know his name, but
right. Yep.
Yeah. I was pumping up our offensive line last night, man, when I was on made a guest appearance last night. I talk about how our offensive line is gonna be a solid group, man. Definitely would love to get those guys on. We, like I said, long season, man. We got plenty of time. Long season, plenty of time. Yep. But everybody, make sure you get your season tickets. And if you can't get season tickets, man, get single game tickets. All that other good stuff, man. Fan Day Saturday. Make sure you're in the house, man.
Yeah,
bring
go
the
out
family,
and support.
bring the kids, bring them all, man. Everything's
It's free.
Meet the cheerleaders, meet the soccer team, the cross country team, see a football scrimmage, volleyball in the house, Dr. Brian in the house, athletics and staff is in the house. Dr. Wims will make an appearance because he gonna make an appearance. Man, make
DT
sure you
will be there,
in, man.
DT will be there.
DT will be there.
Free.
Corey will be there. T. Gooden will be there. Dave and I will be there in spirit.
It's free.
But it's free, man. Get on in the house,
It's
man.
free.
Stay
Get on
hydrated.
in the house. Get on in the
stay
house.
hydrated. It's gonna be hot. They're forecasting like 90 something degrees. And don't come up here without your blood pressure medicine.
Yeah. Well, man, this was a great show. DT, great to see you again, man, with us. Looking forward just to many more days, man, ahead. Football days in Huntsville will continue next week. Plus, our volleyball coach, Dr. Brandon Reeves.
Yep.
So for my guys here tonight, T. Gooden, Corey Williams, Dave, DT Green, shout out to Jen out there. I'm your man, Wild Wayne Cartwright. Everybody be good and God bless. We'll see you here next week.